Experiencing stress and anxiety during the exam period is totally normal and actually very common. Over 40% of students experience something called test anxiety. However, it is important to take care of our mental health because a poor mental health contributes to a poor performance, and a poor performance contributes to a poor mental health, and this creates a vicious cycle. So it goes without saying that we need our mental health during the exam period. The methods I'm about to share are methods that I personally use, and if they work for me, I believe they can also work for you. The first step is a 3-in-1 kind of step. Recognize, acknowledge, manage. You start first by recognizing the time at which you start feeling anxious. Maybe it's weeks, days, or even hours before the exam starts. You also recognize the signs such as sleeplessness, mood changes, appetite changes, physical symptoms such as a fast heart rate or even headaches. And these signs affect individuals differently. You may experience what another person may not experience. You also recognize the cause, such as past failures, comparisons, and anticipations of rewards and punishments. After recognizing, it is important to acknowledge, to validate the legitimacy of how you feel. Even though the feeling is overwhelming, it's your brain's way of showing you that this is actually very important, and it is important to acknowledge. And when you acknowledge, it will be easier to manage. The next step is managing. Managing is by relaxation techniques, things that relax your mind. You may involve yourself in exercises, hobbies. You may involve yourself also in mindfulness activities such as meditation. You can also listen to calming music. You can also talk to someone, maybe a friend, a family member, or even a teacher to help you navigate through this situation. You can also do some deep breathing techniques, which I'm about to show you because these are very important, especially when the paper is at your desk. So let's take a moment. So you close your eyes, take in a deep breath for 3 seconds, then breathe out and repeat the process 3 times. I bet it's gonna work on you because it calms down your sympathetic nerves, activates the parasympathetic nerves, and it slows down the brain chemicals responsible for stress, such as cortisols and adrenaline. After recognize, acknowledge, and manage, we go to strategizing. A lot of people will try to study everything during the exam period, but it is important to be strategic. It is important to break down these topics into what can be understood at a time. It is important to take advantage of past papers. These past papers are gonna help you familiarize yourself with the setting of the exam, and this will help calm your anxiety. During the exam, you can start with what is less challenging to what is more challenging to avoid being overwhelmed during the exam. You can also try as much as possible not to discuss the exam questions after the exam because you may be having the subsequent exams and you need your mental health for them. So it is important, very important to strategize, and we all have different ways of strategizing. So I won't dwell much on that. At number 3 is limiting certain expectations. Expectations on the predictions of what will be there in the exam. You may predict certain questions will be there and hold a strong belief. But if you fail to find the questions in the exam, you end up being frustrated, and it affects even how you're going to answer the other questions, even though you're familiar with the questions. Another bad expectation is expecting that an exam will be very easy or easy, but when it turns out to be the opposite, you end up getting frustrated, and it also affects your mental health. Instead, set realistic goals for each exams. A goal like a pass mark is much healthier than that of a prediction. The fourth and the last step is getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. This is very underrated as it is seen as a waste of time. Most people will prefer to transnight, but getting enough sleep will help you to be more alert, help you to concentrate on the paper, and prevents you from dozing off while doing the exam. because feeling sleepy during the exam is basically going to affect your performance. Sleep will also help you to improve on your memory, and you'll be able to remember things than someone who did not get enough sleep. And sleep will also help to reduce stress and anxiety, which is good for our mental health. And I insist that we need our mental health during the exam.